Politics of Africa, the journal about Gambia. This week's about corruption and anti-corruption efforts. Unlike last week, where the Gambia had not suffered any form of state collapse or state reconstruction, Gambia's really suffered a lot from corruption, and anti-corruption efforts have really been put in place to ensure that it doesn't occur again. But we'll see. So the first form of corruption was the first president of the Gambia, who forced serious economic problems, and from foreign aid donors began to refuse aid requests, partly because of the end of the Cold War, but partly because of his authoritarian regime. And so through his authoritarian regime, he took a lot of money from the government, and a lot of the vast majority of peasant farmers and those on the rural communities were affected. Yet, however, he was eventually kicked out by coup in 1994. In the next administration, there was a vow for no corruption, anti-corruption efforts to be made. That fell through really the cracks. The beginning, he wanted a civic and democratic regime. Soon he became authoritarian. He ruled for almost 20 years, around 15 years, and he won elections but started to lose foreign aid because of his human rights atrocities and corruption. I mean, killing political opponents and other forms of brutal human rights. He was then lost the recent election in 2016, but this final stunt was that he stole $11 million from the treasury. It's not recorded exactly how much either president stole from the Gambia's economy, and because it's a small economy and there's not a lot of money flowing through it, that small amount of money, as it seems for other nations, is a really big deal for the Gambia. And the corruption has led, again, as I said, to economic problems in the Gambia, and the lack of vertical or horizontal legitimacy that when at the forming of the government really made it possible for corruption to occur, because the government that was built on really had no support by the people because they didn't really put it into place. Aid is really the main driving force for anti-corruption efforts, because aid has been withdrawn when political leaders have turned corrupt in the Gambia, which is very good because it enforces democracy and anti-corruption efforts and honesty. But there needs to be some form of internal anti-corruption effort. President Barrow has promised to work against corruption, but there's no guarantee what he's doing. Hopefully, he's the president that turns things around with anti-corruption efforts and strengthens democracy. So, thank you.